Hey, good morning everybody. Today we're going to be mounting the servo onto the chassis as well as installing our servo saver, connecting it to the steering, and configuring the servo. Make sure it's working properly. So the servo is mounted to the chassis with these posts. There's two of them, one on the left side, one on the right side. There you go. Very simple installation. You put that against the servo, and the servo actually rests this way. Put that against the servo. Take these screws with the washer attached, and you tighten those. There's one side. Oops. And there's the other. And we're going to use these two flush screws and fasten them to these two holes on the chassis. This one, it's too hard to see. Well, it's going to be on the bottom of the chassis. And before we do that, we're of course going to install the servo horn. So let me get this open, look at the instruction manuals together, and then we'll go ahead and put this on. All right, here we go. So this particular part, the aluminum servo saver in black color, is item number YA0557BK. Let's get it open. I need a pair of scissors to cut that open. All right, let's take a look. All right, here's the servo saver. And these are ones for Futaba, ones for Sanwa. I think that's the cap. And here's the springs, the screw, and there's a bearing. So let's take a look at the assembly. So there's, like I said, there's two servo savers, one for Futaba. One's 24, one's 25 splines. And there's a spring. So the servo would be on this side, and then the servo saver. One spring, two springs, three springs. The arm itself, the ball bearing, the cover, and the screw. Pretty straightforward. So I have the servo right here. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be 25. There we go. Let's see. I think it's maybe this one. I want this to be face up. So it's going to look like that. So wherever this end is, the arm will be headed. Okay, let me slide that in there. Let's go ahead and open the springs up. Can't find my scissors at the moment, so I'm using the XM body scissors. So there's a small spring. Oops. A medium spring. you can just slide them all in together. Now there's tension on these springs, so I'm going to have to work on this. I know it's going to go flying somewhere. Let's see. All right, that was incredibly difficult. What you want to do is put the springs on the horn itself, because the diameter of this is actually smaller than that. And if you put the springs onto the servo saver, you're not going to be able to spread this open. So let me tell you about what I had to do here. The inner spring, the smallest spring, was relatively easy to get around that loop there. But the medium and the large spring, I had to take 2 pairs of pliers to spread them open a little bit, kind of stretch them out before I can put them in there. So really, I think it's a fitment issue. I think I don't know if it's a defect or that's just how Yeah Racing does this. This was an incredible amount of effort just for a servo horn. I actually cannot recommend this. If you're new to the hobby, or if you're a younger person and don't have all the tools, I wouldn't recommend buying the servo horn. It took me way too long to put this together. It was pretty much unnecessary for something as simple as a servo horn. But nonetheless, let me put it all together. So now that that's on there, put that there. And there's a bearing and a cap and a screw. And this one is actually a hex screw, so you need your hex wrench just this once. All right. Looks like we're good to go. I know the performance of this is going to be quite good. It's just the effort of putting it together I don't think was worth it. I'm going to just, before I install it into the, kind of finalize everything, I'm just going to make sure this is still centered. It was centered when I tested the electronics after I soldered the battery. I just want to make sure one more time before I put it in there. Alrighty. Okay, there you go. That's centered enough. I don't think I can do it any better because it's an odd number of splines. It's not going to be exactly centered straight, but looks like I have good response. So let me put it in the car. All right, so I got the servo mounted securely on there. I measured the turnbuckle that connects to the steering assembly, and I adjusted a little bit longer so it lines up with pretty much the center of the servo horn. I have the original ball stud right there, and I put it in the center hole. And the nut that came with the servo horn kit is for the back of the ball stud. And I'm just going to slowly tighten this nut here. You can use a pair of needle nose pliers as well, but this is getting the job done. Okay, and that's it. I'm gonna get that clamped in there with a pair of pliers. You can probably just use your fingers. Okay, and that's it. Let me just go ahead and run a quick test. Connect the battery back up again. Plug the servo back in. And turn on the car. looking good. I'm getting very good positive response, very quick steering. So pretty good. So that's how you install the servo and the servo horn and connect it to the steering assembly. I'm getting good, seems like it's a lot faster response than the original servo horn and probably just the servo altogether. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.